I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live.
What's up, everyone? This is Bill with BLR Tuning. You guys know what time it is. Today's watch is a Project ABDA Subaquanoma 8 shutter. So you see it's got the dragon heads, a lot of detail. Little dragon heads right there for the buttons. The little latch that opens to get to the crown, screw down crown. 100% waterproof diver's watch. You can see how the face looks. It is brushed yellow gold with the blue, and then you turn this little dial here and you can expose the face, so you can rock it like that or you can rock it like this, and each one of those fins curling back like that is actually metal. You can rock it like this. You can see it's got diamonds on each of the hour marks with the gold inside there and the blue. Really awesome watch. One of my favorites. Today's video, we're going to be showing you the KAWASAKI Z900 and an install. It's not too long of a video. I'm trying to keep it under a half hour, but it is a little tedious just removing the plastic. But this is a steering dampener kit or steering stabilizer kit for the KAWASAKI Z900. This will fit the 17 model and up. And then we do carry these now. They are in stock on our website. We ship them anywhere in the US. They are $140 shipped, and they do come pre-assembled. So everything is assembled, ready to go. Makes it much easier than having all these little pieces. And we do use blue Loctite. Everything is torqued down. So the way that it will go, we'll show you on the bike here in a second. This screw unscrews here. Okay, so this is going to be, you got your spacer. The easiest way to do this rubber O-ring, it goes underneath to help keep the dust out. Okay, to help keep the dust out of that joint underneath there, from underneath. So the easiest way to do this is going to be to put it onto the spacer. Okay, so you get it on that spacer like that, and then it's going to go in there like so. So the spacer, then this bolt. Use blue Loctite. Okay, and then remember, don't torque it down too tight. These are aluminum. Don't strip the threads. Then once you have it on there and torque and tighten down, roll the O-ring up so it is wedged up against here. And that's the easiest way to do that part. Then over here, this guy's gonna slide on after you get this mounted. So you'll slide this on and then attach this. Okay, and then tighten this bolt down. Get it where you want it to sit. Remember, you need to steer it left and right to make sure that it's not closing up all the way. You want there to be a gap on each side. Okay, so basically you want it right in the middle where there's even room left over on each side. It is adjustable from soft to hard. Hard being that you won't even be able to turn the bars. Soft being that it feels like this thing isn't doing anything. Okay, so it doesn't go all the way from soft to hard, so you're going to want to find where it's comfortable from you. for you, and the best way to do that is to count the clicks that you're adjusting. So as you turn it up, count those clicks and get it to where you like it. Okay, so I'm going to take you over to the bike. I'll show you the one that's on the bike, and we'll roll out with this install video. You do get all your mounting bolts here in the bag. So you have these spacers. These ones, the spacers go under here and through here. These are going to replace your two handlebar bolts on the right side if you're sitting on the bike. And then this goes right up under where your the plastic is that's covering your key lock area. This will sit underneath there, and these two bolts are going to replace the ones that are holding down the front of the gas tank. Okay, and they go in there like that. Remember, you want to use blue Loctite on all your bolts so nothing rattles loose. Okay, and this is meant to swivel. It does have a little O-ring under here, as you can see. Okay, so all this is already assembled. This is made out of T6 aluminum. So all these pieces are machined out of billet aluminum. Really nice kit. Remember, it fits the Kawasaki Z900 ABS SE, and it'll fit 17 and up. The bolts that hold most of the parts together on your bike are going to be a 4mm and 5mm Allen, and it's the same with these 5mm Allen. Okay, we're going to be removing the front windscreen, and then you need to get underneath where your dash, your display is, and you need to remove the bolts holding in the display, and then that will allow you to move the display out of your way so we can do the install. And then you will also need to trim the plastic piece that is up where your key lock is. You'll see me do that trimming in the video and show you exactly where it is that you need to be trimming it at. And basically it's when this goes back down, when the plastic piece goes back down over this, it needs to be able to clear this area here. I do have a video showing how to tear down the Z900. Shows in detail how to tear it down completely. So if you need that video, there'll be a link in the description for that video if you need to have a better understanding how to tear it down completely, if I don't show it to you good enough in this video, okay? Again, there's a link in the description below. Go check it out. It's BLRTUNING.TECH. Let's hop over to the bike. Okay guys, this is our shop bike monster. So you can see on the tag. Anyway, it does work with a tank bag. You can see here we have a nice tank bag set up right here. And pull this lever and it comes off. Okay, so you can see the steering stabilizer here. You can see how it functions. We do have a ram mount over here just to show you it does work with the ram mount. The phone doesn't interfere with it at all. Okay, nothing binds up. Everything is extremely nice, high quality. You can see how it mounts in here, and you can see how this looks. So there's where we had to do our trimming, because you can see this plastic comes all the way down over this. Okay, so you could trim it. You can see how I did it. You could trim it straight across right there and bring it right up to this bracket. You do not have to do all the way up as high as I did, okay? So we'll get on with the install. We'll show you how to install it. Like I said, we've had it on this bike for a while. We've been running it and absolutely love it. Wouldn't change it, wouldn't go back and take it off of there ever. I wish it came with one installed, but it does not. And this one is a 2022 Kawasaki Z900 ABS. And if you're wanting to know what this is an AFR gauge. Just so we can keep an eye on the AFR. Okay. Anyway, we'll get on with the install video. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. All my contact information is in the description below the video. A link to purchase on our Etsy shop and our website is below in the description as well. We do offer custom tuning on these bikes. If your bike has EFI, we can tune it. So if you have questions about tuning, you want to make more horsepower and torque, feel free to reach out to us. We're here at the Z900. As you can see, Everything's going to be sitting right in here. We already have a very tight area, but that is where we're going to make it work. So we need to remove this plastic on each side, and then the one that's underneath right here, and then the one that's around the key right there. Okay, so you have a 4mm bolt up here and a 6mm here, and then you have a push tab here and here, and that will get this piece off on each side. And then we will have a 4mm bolt up here, and there's a couple bolt right there, and we'll need to get this piece off. It'll all come off as one piece. You don't have to remove the push tabs that are up on the top here connecting this 1 and 2 up there. You don't need to remove that to separate those. You just need to remove that whole thing. Okay, so let's get all this plastic off. Okay guys, once you get all this plastic off the bike, you'll see there's going to be 2 10mm bolts. One here, okay? Those are what need to come off. So we need to remove those guys, okay? Our new bolts are going to go down in there. Be careful, this is aluminum. It will strip extremely easy. Do not over tighten it. Okay, but that we're going to have longer bolts. We're going to use some blue Loctite. And those are going to go in there, so that's going to be our first part here. And this will also give you a chance to see what all you need to trim once you get this piece in there and fit that piece that goes around the key. You'll see what all you need to trim to make it work. Hey guys, so you can see there, we got our blue Loctite. Ignore the fact it's in a red bottle, it's blue. Medium strength Loctite. Don't use red Loctite, you'll never get them back out. But that's where our bolts are going to go. Once it's bolted down, it will not be touching, obviously. But that's where it's got to go. We're going to bolt those down, get them snug, don't over tighten them. Display out, we got our windscreen angle in here. Our spacers going to go right on top of here. So you can see I have a spacer here. That's a spacer, and that's a spacer that came in the kit. And then this piece is going to sit on there like so. And then our bolts, these guys here, oh, there it goes, are going to go through there with some blue Loctite. Okay, we're going to tighten those down, and that'll get us our bracket hanging out here. You can see we have this other one mounted already here. See where we are at now. We got the display mounted back up. Everything fits very snug, but there is a gap. I could slide a piece of paper in between there, so it's not touching, but this all moves together anyway, so that don't really matter. We were able to get everything in there. Be careful with these bolts. You can strip the head of those very easily. But we did grease this little O-ring. So it's got some silicone grease up there, and it's sitting on top of there. Next thing is going to be to mount this bracket. So we'll bolt it down tight, but it should still be able to swivel anyway. See what I'm saying? I put a little black line. Hard to see, but yeah, you can see it there. Put a little black line up on top of that bolt, just so you can see it is not coming unthreaded when we turn this guy. Okay, this will move around. It is designed to move around with that piston as it goes in and out. So your piston is going to go across here, and as you steer, this thing needs to be able to swivel and turn with that piston as that piston pushes back and forth. Okay, so we were turned all the way tight this way, it would swivel this way. So now we got to get our piston through here, let it sit in there loosely. Again, this bolt is down tight. Everything's tight right now. This bolt is loose, so we can slide the piston in without scratching it all up. And then it's going to have a spacer and bolt down over here. Okay, and again, we're going to use blue Loctite. We have our dampener installed. You see that O-ring? It needs to just slide up. But what I want to point out is the bolt that it comes with right here. If we look underneath at our threads, you can see there, it doesn't actually come through very far, but your factory, those handlebar bolts that we pulled out fit that exact thread pattern and are a little bit longer. Okay, so a little bit heavier duty of a bolt. You can see there, it would actually go protrude just a little bit. So I am going to switch this out. I'm not happy with the length on that. What we don't want is for this to ever back out and cause something to bind up on your steering, right? So I am going to back that one out and replace it with our factory handlebar bolt that we removed. Okay, because it's the same thread pitch, everything is identical, it's just a little bit longer of a bolt. Okay, and these are heavy duty bolts, so nothing wrong with that. So I will replace it there because you're applying a lot of pressure here. And you got to remember the way these dampeners work, right? And it should be able to move around. That's fine. Don't worry about that. It should be able to move around. It's got to be able to swivel right here. So it's got to be able to move. So don't worry about it moving. It's not going to rattle when you're riding and stuff. It's going to sit in one spot. The thing to remember here is all the pressure we're putting on this, right? The way these dampeners work, if you turn fast, it puts a lot more pressure inside there and it moves a lot slower. But if you move slow, right, it moves slow. Okay, so right now we have it all the way on the loosest setting. That would be to the S for soft and H for hard. So if we turn it all the way this way, it'd be harder. Okay, we can definitely feel it change. So right now it's basically nothing. But if we try to move those handlebars fast, it definitely gets tighter in there. Okay, and that's the whole point, is to prevent that tank slapper from happening. It needs to be able to do that. Okay, so the way you need to mount it here, you can see how I have it. Okay, and the goal here is the same on each end. So when you're all the way locked this way, take a measurement on that distance there, all the way locked this way, from here to here on that distance, should be about the same, okay? So we can go full lock to full lock without anything binding up and without any issues, okay? And it works really good. So it's gonna look really nice once we get that tank, all that plastic back up on here, okay? Because you do have this big gap right up here now. So now what we need to do is set our plastic piece on here and measure out where we need to trim to get it to drop back down so we can put these screw holes on there. Okay, it won't drop around this. So you're gonna have to trim this whole, like a U-shape area to get that to drop down on there. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. Let me take some measurements. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Okay guys, so now we're gonna have to cut this piece that goes around the key. We're just gonna use a Dremel and a little cut-off wheel and sand everything down smooth. So you see I've marked with a permanent black marker so it doesn't show up as bad if we, leave any of that on there. But you see what I'm gonna cut right from where this comes up and right to where it slopes down and is flat. Okay, so just like that, that's what I'm going to cut. I'm going to start there and we'll see how it fits. Okay, remember, if you cut off too much, you can't put any plastic back, but if you cut off too little, you can always cut a little bit more. So that's how we're going to start out right there. May need just a little bit of trimming, but we'll see how that works. Got our cut made. Obviously we need to trim things up, make it a little bit nicer and smooth. We'll use a little bit of sandpaper to do that, a little file. But you can see there how we cut it. So now we'll go test fit it out the bike, see how it fits. Okay guys, where that little bar is that sticks up, it does hit right here, so we need to notch that out as well. So we'll come at an angle, notch that out, and we'll clean this all up. Just take a look at the fitment, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Cut, like I said, cut a little bit at a time. Take a look at how it fits. You can always cut a little more. Okay? I'm just knocking some of these bigger chunks off. This plastic's gonna melt as it gets cut here. And we'll clean it all up too, make all these edges nice and smooth. We'll make it look like it's OEM. Okay, let's go check it out. Our fitment. So now we've got everything all sanded up. So this is what it looks like, okay? So you see, we've sanded everything, made it look as nice as we possibly can. From the top, it will look factory OEM. So let's see how our fitment is here. So it's got to clear this and this bar up here, okay? So you can see our bolt holes will go right there. Bolt holes line up here. There's how it sits. Looks really good. Perfect. I'm happy with that. It's not touching anything. Okay, from the top of the bike, it'll look factory OEM. You'd never even know. Okay, I'll pull this off the stand here and show you guys what it looks like up close. Okay, so you can see what I'm saying, guys, when you look down from the top here. It looks factory OEM. You would never know that that is something aftermarket installed on that bike. Okay, because all your plastic's going to go back on. Looking at the bike, you would never know that that's been cut. Again, this is like a $10 piece, so it's not like it's something that's super expensive. If you ever wanted to put it back to stock, you could order this OEM piece very cheap. Okay, you can see what it looks like there. So now we will put all our plastics back on and put this all back together, and then we'll give you a walk around, show you what the bike looks like. So we got the plastic all back on the bike, key in the ignition. So as you can see, we can reach it. It's not gonna be a problem. And sitting on the bike doesn't obstruct the view. You still see all your information here. So works really good. And then like I said, you got your adjustments right here. So you'll just have to sit on the bike, stand it upright, and feel how stiff the steering is. And get it to where it feels comfortable sitting in one spot. Go out and ride it around the block. Don't go do nothing crazy around any corners or anything yet. You just want to ride around the block, get used to it, feel it, see how it feels. Slowly turn it up to get it to as stiff as you want. Always start out with a loose setting. So we can see, we can go back here to soft. Okay, and then we can kind of roll it. There's that first notch right there. Okay, that's where it wants to sit. So where I had it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's where it felt pretty comfortable for me. It does have some stiffness to it, but not enough to where it's gonna, really hinder my handling and whatnot. And if you move it fast, and it feels a fast movement, it really does kind of stiffen up, and that's what's gonna prevent that, tank slapper from happening. When those bars start bouncing back and forth really hard. I've had tank slappers happen to me. I know lots of friends that have had them happen to them, and seen people wreck because of it. I haven't wrecked because of it, but steering dampener will definitely play a major role in not wiping out. Okay, this is going to be part of your regular maintenance, is to check this, check the bolts, make sure everything's tightened down and functioning the way it's supposed to. But steering dampeners can be a lifesaver up at high speed, going in a straight line. They can help you in the corners, give you a little bit more weight, a little bit more feeling up there in the bars. Guys, remember there's a link in the description below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And remember, you can always check out our website, BLRTUNING.TECH. We have tons of products for the Z900 and the Z400, the Ninja 400. Lots of different bikes. Can-Am Riker. Lots of products for the Riker. But go check it out, BLRTUNING.TECH. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.